The garlicky scent of takeout created a nauseating stench I found hard to ignore. Now I would forever associate Mongolian beef with divorce, and it made me want to yark. I passed the legal documents across the kitchen table to my lawyer, Donald Overton III, then glanced around my kitchen. Sorry about the mess, Don. There were 2 plates, silverware, and cups in the sink, and it had been the 3rd time I'd said I was sorry since his arrival. The place is cleaner than my house, he said. Don, who was a 6'4" man with rounded shoulders and a big balding head to match, wasn't just my lawyer. He was also my brother-in-law, which meant I knew he was stretching the truth to spare my feelings. My sister Rose was a meticulous housekeeper. Is that it? I asked. He gave me a sympathetic look, emphasis on the pathetic, and nodded. That's it, Iris. Done is done. I rubbed my face. Done is done, I repeated. I'm officially Iris Everly. I'd legally changed it a few weeks earlier. Still, it hadn't felt definitive that I was no longer a Callahan until I'd signed the divorce papers. I'd wasted 18 years married to a man who left me for someone else, someone younger, someone male. My ex, it turned out, was bisexual. I've always been open-minded. I genuinely believe love is love and that people should live their truths. But when it's your husband, it's a lot harder to be congratulatory about someone discovering their authentic self. Thanks for bringing those to me. I stood up from the table. I have to get Michael up for practice. Michael was my 17-year-old son. I worried he'd suffered the most during the divorce. But my son had always been a quiet child, not distant or antisocial, just even keel and low drama. It made it extremely difficult to gauge his real feelings most of the time. Is he still playing football? Dawn asked. Yep. Today's the first day of spring training. Dawn added, You look like you need a friend. You should call Rose. Unable to shake the feeling of trepidation, I said, I'm fine. I'll be okay. Dawn gave me a grim smile, then gathered up the paperwork and slipped it into a folder. I'll get these filed at the courthouse today. You and Michael should come to dinner tomorrow night. I stood up and walked him out of the kitchen and through the living room to the front door. I'll call Rose later, I promise, I told him, which had been the only promise Dawn had been trying to extract. Of course, I hadn't promised when I would call. Please do. You know how Rose gets. My brother-in-law gave me a gentle shoulder squeeze, then left. I had 3 sisters and 1 brother. Rose, the youngest of us all, had taken on the responsibility as the family worrywart since our mother died of pancreatic cancer 5 years earlier. The doctors had given her 3 or 4 months to live, but she died 3 weeks later in her sleep because the cancer had strangled her aorta and caused an aneurysm. I closed the door and made my way down the dark hallway past the kitchen. Even with the door closed, the foul sense of boy stink threatened to knock me off my feet. Garlic leftovers had nothing on eau de sun. I tapped on the door. No response. I pounded my fist against the wood. Still no response. I opened the door a crack. Hello? I leaned on the door to open it wider as the sickly sweet and sour odors hit me full force, burning the back of my nostrils. My eyesight adjusted to the dark. I saw a small mountain of dirty clothes wedged behind the door, barring further entry. I could see long toes peeking over the edge of a queen-sized mattress. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known a human being occupied the bed. Michael, damn it. Lately, damn it had been his middle name. Let me in. What do you want? Came his muffled voice full of sleepy annoyance. I want you to open this stupid door right now. Go away.